This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to the Fully Managed Podcast, a podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you on your business journey. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's Partnership Coordinator, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest, Felix from Market Keep. Thank you so much for coming on today.
That's a very lovely intro, Shannon. Thanks so much for inviting me to this. And that was a really good intro, honestly. So happy to be here, guys. It was nice to meet everybody that watches the podcast and future viewers of the podcast as well. And I'm kind of looking forward to, explaining a little bit about myself and, just getting to know, I don't know what.
Well, thank you for coming on again. And let's just start with you telling us a little bit about yourself and your work and how you kind of got to this point in your professional career. And also share with us a fun fact, if you'd like.
Of course. So, oh man, I don't even know where to start. So, a little bit about myself. I am a digital marketing coordinator with Market Keep, and I've been with this company for I am about to reach 2 years next month. So 2-year anniversary for me coming up soon. I don't know how I'm going to celebrate it, but that's for a later journey down the line. But for how I kind of ended up here is it's a bit of a journey. Starting back in college, I was originally wanting to pursue mechanical engineering as a career, but over time, to be more honest, within like the 1 year span of me being like a mechanical engineering major, I kind of wanted to pursue something different, something that had a little bit more of my calling onto it. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, mechanical engineering sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, but a lot of sleepless nights during that time. But ultimately, I decided to kind of do a full 180. So in the grand scheme of things, because I went to a college that was specifically designed for STEM, or they have more of a preference for like STEM majors, I completely dropped out and went to a community college to kind of, rework a few things throughout my college career, and which led me to another transfer to a university that had a really great business program. So I kind of dove straight into it and pursued business marketing as my major. And, the rest was kind of history. I graduated. I did the good old usual job hunt that everybody's going through in their lives. And I kind of ended up stumbling upon Market Keep. I was really grateful to have this opportunity, especially for Patrick, the CEO of the company. He was very welcoming and saw a lot of potential what I could do. So I was very grateful in, being under his wing and kind of just learning how to, just perform like all of the tasks and kind of help develop the passion I've had for digital marketing as a whole. So that's kind of how I ended up here. And that's kind of, my little journey. And was it like another fun fact as well?
Give me a fun fact that has no relation to marketing at all.
Okay, fun fact. I was originally born in Seattle, Washington.
I was just there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wait, how recent?
Literally like 2 weeks ago to visit a friend.
Oh, wow, that's super recent. Did you like it?
I loved it there. Oh my God, it was like one of my favorite cities I've ever been in.
It's a really nice city. I was actually there in April with a couple of buddies of mine. I was there for about like a week, just kind of get like a little like mini vacation, just to kind of get out of the routine a little bit, just see something a little bit different-ish for the most part. But Seattle is a really nice area. I've always loved not so much the rain, but I do like everything else about Seattle as well. But yeah, it was a really nice little vacation there. It's a really nice city to visit as well. Me personally, I mean, although I do say I am born there, I did live most of my time in that state in a little city called Bellingham, which is located about an hour north of Seattle,
Okay.
and is about an hour ish away from the Canadian border. So sometimes I like to joke around and say I'm borderline Canadian, but I'm not. So
You've been there?
I have not been to Canada, but I do have.
That's crazy. You were so close. You didn't go once. So they care when you enter. They don't care at all.
I was just first. First of all, I was just brought into the world, so I didn't know what was going on. But that is a future trip that I do have in mind going. Really, because I have an uncle that lives near Vancouver, so whenever I get the chance, maybe not anyway, but whenever I get the chance, I could always just fly over there and say hi to my uncle, and a little family trip, just or maybe I'll just visit there by myself, whichever comes first. But Canada is definitely in my long list of places I do want to travel to. For some reason, about half of the places I want to travel to have a decent amount of coldness to it. So
That's wacky that you've never been there yet. I feel like that's messed up.
Uh,
Close.
to be fair, look, so if I did go to Canada, I probably don't remember it because I moved to Maryland when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So I was
okay.
like I was super young at that time. So
Okay, that makes much more sense.
yeah. So,
Okay, that's
sorry for the little scare about that, but
It's not a scare. It's just wild. Anyway, okay, well, when I get to marketing, but that is a super fun fact. Okay, so what do you think are the best tools that you use in digital marketing, or maybe something that you think is the easiest to use or the most helpful?
So I would say probably like the easiest tools I've used in my position would be kind of sort of like the more essential tools that you would kind of get from any digital marketing agency because it's so we've reached to a point in technology now where like everything's so intertwined where like having basic knowledge of these essential tools can get you far in your career. And so for me, I would say just utilizing Google Ads or just being able to utilize Google Search Console and analytics. Our specialty is mainly search engine optimization. So for us, these are kind of like some of the essential tools that we've used to kind of help our clients just figuring out, what's the best approach for, what keywords you want to rank for or any open opportunities that you want to utilize and kind of just understanding how to rank effectively as a whole on Google's like little search engine. Another tool that we've also used, one of the first tools I've used when I first started this position was Ahrefs. Ahrefs is a little bit more, I guess I would say a little bit more robust in a way in terms of like just figuring out like, how websites are ranking, what keywords are helping them the most, and as well as just figuring out like competitors. For me personally, I found Ahrefs slightly more eye friendly, if that makes sense. Eye friendly to understanding, how to utilize organic competition, just seeing how that is organized and what are open opportunities that we're not utilizing that we should go after. So these are kind of like some of the basic tools that I would say helped me a lot from in my career experience so far. Although my career experience is relatively short, because yeah, so I'm still early in my career, a long way to go. But for what I can say right now is that these are a lot of like the basic tools I say have a lot of value in the long run.
Oh, I think that's great. And it's nice to talk to someone that doesn't have an incredible career in marketing because I think that you have like a fresh new brain for
Right.
marketing. I don't
The
know.
fresh, freshly developed frontal lobe, I would
Yes,
say.
exactly.
Yes. I am I am 25 as of July 2024. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so freshly developed frontal lobe. Um, I
You
don't
don't
know.
seem to have schizophrenia, so you it's a good
I'll
time.
take that. That's the good news. I'll take that. As long as I don't sound schizophrenic, we'll.
Not that there's anything wrong with schizophrenia. People at home watching, I hope that you're okay.
Yes, take. You're okay. You're perfect the way you are. Take good care of yourselves.
Yes.
There's always opportunities out.
If your frontal lobe develops at 25 and you have schizophrenia, I'm sure there's a hotline for you. Call it. Anyway.
I would not know. So
Okay, going off of the tools that you suggested or think are the easiest to use, do you have anything, okay, say out of like the basic tools, do you have anything that you think that you use that is kind of unusual or that you think that's helpful that maybe you don't find other people using?
uh,
It's okay if you don't.
I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Because I don't know, for me, a lot of it has been using those two specifically.
Mm.
And then if there is something where I have to think a little bit outside of the box, uh, several times it has been just finding a method behind my madness. Uh, Specifically when it comes to creating blog articles for clients, I do get a little bit creative with that in the sense that I find something that I could directly relate to in my just personal life as a whole. If I could find bits and pieces, it's like, oh, this happened recently. Let me use this to my advantage. So I could kind of think of one right off the bat. So we do have a roofing client. I'm not going to say any names or anything just for the sake
That's
of
good.
it.
Don't do that.
But for the sake of this example alone, I do have a small problem with birds right now. Specifically the birds that are like hiding their little nests in between the little storm doors of like by the windows. So my little idea was to create a blog article called "How much damage can a bird do to your roof?"
That's really smart.
Yeah, so that kind of pops up in my head, and I apply it to my work, and did pretty well surprisingly, considering that for me it was more of a personal grudge against the bird that likes to dig in between the storm doors. But I digress. Now there's like a Hulk going around the neighborhood, but that's just this is like when I tell you there's a method behind my madness, there's literally a method behind my madness. So
What is with Maryland and the bird problem? I didn't know that this was an issue.
oh my, this isn't even like a Maryland problem. This is just my problem. This is just my problem.
So, like, I think you've crossed a bird at one point in your life and, like, they're coming back for a reckoning. Like, you must have done something.
Honestly, I don't know what I would do to a bird that would lead to that. The only
Birds
thing I
hold
think of,
grudges. Well, birds hold grudges. You ever mess with one?
I've heard that crows hold grudges, but I
All of
never
them do.
messed. Oh, really?
Pigeons are the most vengeful.
Okay. Then in that case, I might have, I don't know, I might have given a pigeon in New York like a mean eye at some point.
Yeah, that's
They might
it.
migrate, and then like they noticed
They
me.
told
Or,
all the
like,
other birds.
yeah, I don't know. Well, to be fair, this was like my family moved to a new house like a while ago. So, and that was like one of the first things I noticed, but I thought they kind of left the house and moved out with them. But I know that's not how that works. But part of me just wished that that was the but hope. Unfortunately, it was not. So,
Well, that's funny. Okay, so like, okay, fun fact: you have a bird problem, and you're from Seattle. Okay, we have two fun facts throughout this call so far. Okay, so okay, well, going off of the madness, do you think that there are certain kinds of traits or philosophies that you think are important to your role?
I would say important traits would be, just being able to have a keen eye for like the little details that go along the way. when it comes to search engine optimization and website design as well. Like you'd be surprised how many small details you can miss throughout the whole process. And you don't really think about it when you kind of like circle back and just look it over with like fresh eyes. So like once, let's say, for example, you kind of finish a project and then take a small break and then you come back to it and then you look at it again. It's like, I could have done this differently. I've always found myself doing that when I'm working with clients. No matter how good the work could be, I always find myself circling back, just like just checking up. It's like part of it is the website management aspect for my role, and I'll just look back at it. It's like, although, they're not asking for like, oh, any changes to web pages, sorry, for web pages or anything like that. In the back of my mind is always asking, what could I have done to, make this a little bit better? Or could I have made this small tweak would have made much of a difference? Or could I have just, like, would changing the layout make it in this sort of design or this sort of like fashion, would that have been able to help it break effectively or just attract more viewers and get more clicks out of it, or just gain a higher conversion rate as a whole? So for me, I'm always thinking about, if I were to do everything from scratch, how would I have approached it, or what would I have done differently? And I think that's kind of like the beauty of, being in this role and as a whole, or being in this career, like digital marketing as a whole. You know, you, we worry a lot about, making sure clients are satisfied with what they have, what we give to them, worrying about deadlines and just making sure we can do everything as much as possible in like the shortest amount of time. Because nowadays, I would say like everything is so fast paced where the aspect of patience kind of dwindles a little bit. So, for me, I've always kept that in mind when I'm doing my career, when I'm doing my work, but I'll always try to make time or give myself a second to kind of look back a little bit. It's like if I was given maybe one day, 1 hour, maybe like 1 minute, if you could think about it, what could I have done something slightly different or slightly better and kind of just made a different impact from those changes. So I think that's kind of like what I've enjoyed the most about, the career path I've chosen. That is because I'm using both sides of my brain. One's like a little more analytical, find the keying details of, what the numbers mean, how to interpret it, making the best decisions out of it. And as well as that, like the creativity, what can I do to add a little bit of spice to, whatever it is I'm making applications to.
No, I think one of the best, equally as good and as bad thing in marketing is the idea that you can always do something differently.
Yeah.
Because there's so many ways of doing something, especially when it's not, um, I don't know, it's a gamble. It's up to viewers' choice of whether something works or not, and something that works for one person might not work for another. And I think that it's really frustrating because you think that something might land and it doesn't. But it's also really fun to experiment and try new things and find out that they do work. And I think that's like an awesome part about marketing.
And I think that's part of like what drove me into the career with like a level of passion that I have to this day, is that there is like a level of not that I'm not saying I have a gambling problem, but there is a level of risk to, the career that I really do enjoy, and kind of it keeps me on my toes, and like also offers me like a good challenge that, I want to be able to kind of like just take on with full force and just, hope for the best. Again, I do not have a I do not have a
I have a gambling problem. I'm gonna make that the tagline of this. Felix, gambling problem one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That'll definitely catch people's eyes. So
Yeah, no, that's marketing.
yeah, exactly. Like I have applications to this in my personal life too. I'm hosting a Christmas party next month, and I invited a bunch of people, but like I wanted everybody to know that they're invited. So the best method I could think of was come up with the craziest group chat name I can think of, which was we signed an NDA, and I left it as that.
You're like, all these people are definitely going to come to the party now that they feel slightly threatened.
Exactly. And some of them work for more high profile companies and corporate headquarters out there. So like
Ah,
they definitely caught their attention. So I had to make the most out of it. And what made it better was I did on a fresh Monday night. Just
that's
right at the
wonderful.
end of the
Like,
day. As soon as 5 p.m. hit, I immediately made that group chat.
that's genius. I'm going to take that advice for future parties. Yes, like
Please do.
threats.
Go ahead. Let me know how it works.
It's like no, I think that's great. I like the idea. Another thing that I really like about marketing is the idea that you can take inspiration from anywhere. You can take inspiration from marketing into your normal life. My boss loves to do, he constantly loves to relate it to dating. That's his favorite thing on the earth. And I think it's so funny. It makes me laugh so much. It comes up way too much. Like he'll be like, yeah, he'll tell me something, he'll explain something to me, and then he'll be like, yeah, and this doesn't just go for marketing. This goes for all of life. And then he'll make up some scenario. And it's so funny. But I think it's kind of true. I think that marketing is, well, because it's related so much to psychology, I think in a way, you can kind of use it at any point in your life. And I think that other things in your life can also be related to marketing. I know so many people that gain inspiration from non-marketing spaces for their marketing roles. And I think
Mm.
that's really cool because there's not a lot of jobs where you can kind of do that.
Honestly, yeah, I think being able to draw in inspiration from just life outside of work does play a factor into it. I think where it gets a little bit shaky is where you try to intertwine the two. And that's, yeah, well, for me, I feel like if you intertwine the two, I mean, good and bad will come out of it. But I feel like it lingers on a lot longer because they're intertwined. That's why for me, I like to kind of have my personal experiences separate from like the work experiences. That way, when I draw in inspiration from either side, it'll come in fresh. It won't be like anything that feels kind of lukewarm, I
Mhm.
guess is a good way to describe it.
Authentic.
Yeah. So I think that's where I kind of want to find a little bit of a balance in between those two aspects of my life. And I think that's also called work-life balance, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different definitions for that. But that's one aspect I can draw in where it's like, oh, balance is important in some aspects. And this is why I would give that as a reasoning for it. So yeah.
I think it's incredibly important. I think the only time my work life and actual life has intertwined with this job is when I followed a bunch of people from high school on LinkedIn. that that made me very uncomfortable. But
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah,
okay, now you all know what I'm doing now. Thank you. I wasn't I didn't really want to, I didn't want that. But now
yeah,
you know, and LinkedIn followers are important. So here
yeah.
we go.
I treat LinkedIn like my Facebook page in the sense that I will
Oh,
follow people that I know either directly or semi-directly. So like if my connection knows a direct connection, then I'll go for the follow. That's how I treat it in terms of like that's like a Facebook page. But if there's anybody that does catch my eye a little bit, I'll immediately follow them or I'll immediately follow somebody else. And I think when I don't know, when it comes to like the whole networking thing, I want to have a lot of people go for like the quantity, and that's very important as well if you want to have like a level of following to it. So I feel like, having that quantity is helpful, but you want to also be able to generate some quality out of those like actual connections that you make on not even like LinkedIn, just in general, just being able to have like a quality connection with who you have. Cause I see this with when you have like a little like Instagram influencers and all that stuff, you see the numbers are extremely high up, but when you look at engagement, it's a completely different story. Like, you could have somebody with 100K followers on Instagram, but then you look at their posts and the engagement and everything, and you're kind of looking at like a few thousand here, a few thousand there, and like even for like the comments too, it could be like in the low hundreds or like just in the normal double digits. And from there, it's like you kind of have to figure out, how do I kind of provide more engagement with your audience. I feel like having a good community a lot more is more important than just having like a large following as a whole. Because what the thing about having a small committed community is you can it can grow further later down the line just through like the very nature of it. Word of mouth is always going to be like the best method overall. So, if their friends mention to their other friends about it, and then kind of like just keeps going over time, then you can develop more followings as well. And I kind of think of it as like a spiral web type of effect. So you connect the one dot leads to five dots, and then leads to here and there, and then everything's kind of like what the
Yeah, it's like the food chain, but it's people and they're not eating each other.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Right. Unless you're Hannibal Lecter, but that's a
Yeah,
different
yeah, then you're
situation there.
probably eating your friends too.
Yeah.
That's
So
yeah, maybe that's a
yeah.
line we shouldn't be crossing, but
Life hack. Do not eat your friends.
don't eat friends. Yeah,
Yes.
that's that. If you get any advice from this episode, don't do that. Also, schizophrenia hotline.
And
Um,
do not gamble.
and don't gamble unless
Yeah.
it's marketing. Then it doesn't count.
Because you get professional experience out. Yeah.
Yes, you get personal experience and you get paid a salary, which is not gambling.
Yes.
Unless you get paid commission, then it's maybe slightly more close to gambling.
We we'll let the paperwork decide that for us.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand the close-knit community thing. I have like 6 friends. So that is and we grow from those friends having partners and then there were more people from that. And I think that's great. And I don't have the energy for lackluster relationships. I care very deeply about people in my life. So I don't have the ability to create
Yeah.
inauthentic.
Especially in this part of my life now. I'm like, I'm at that part of my life right now where it's like, okay, I rather just focus more on relationships that I can kind of build on top of over time rather than meeting a bunch of new people. I mean, I like meeting new people. I like it. I like spending time with new people. I've always enjoyed it. And that part would never go away. But I think I'm at that point in my life right now where it's like I do want to cater more time towards people I've built generally like strong bonds with versus having to go out and like just do whatever and meet 50 new people and then maybe like five of them come back and they actually stay connected. So, but I think I don't know, the social aspect of all of it is a very lovely thing to have. Just being able to meet different people, having that have different backgrounds, understanding new perspectives, just from any angle that you want, whatever madness goes inside people's brains. I'm open to it. Just let me listen. I don't have to agree with everything you're saying, but I can always step back and say, okay, I respect what you say, and then I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, yeah, meeting new people is really fun. Networking is fun, but it's also sometimes exhausting if you're doing it constantly all the time. So I think
Right.
that, yeah, it's nice to have people that you're close to, but it's also nice to meet new people and get new perspectives. Great.
Exactly.
Podcast.
Yes. My first ever podcast. And, I'm not going to act like I'm slightly nervous.
Okay. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you one more question now, and then we're gonna go to the game.
Okay.
The game is so fun. Okay, if you have goals that you have set for yourself and you do not meet them, how do you prepare for next
Ooh.
time? Okay, that you don't meet your goals. You don't have to lie and say, "I meet my goals every single time. I'm always perfect and everything's always good," because it's not. It's marketing.
Yeah, no, of course. I understand this. Like, I'm pretty sure it's yes. I have. There were times where I, fell a little bit short of my goals. For me, I kind of, on the initial, when initially happens, it's always kind of like just you're bummed out about it. Like you wish you did better. Maybe a little bit of fear factor kicks in because it's like, oh, I might lose my job now. Oh no. But so there's always like those initial feelings and emotions that you kind of go through though when you don't meet those goals. But after you take a second to kind of just take a step back, just process everything that's happening, and then that's where you can kind of take a different perspective on that situation and think to yourself, okay, I missed my goals. What went wrong? Looking at as many different angles as possible, then you can kind of think to yourselves like, oh, okay, so this is where I went wrong. Was like maybe I spend too much time looking at from one perspective where I should be focusing my energy on like something else, or maybe I wasn't really in the right mindset. There's so many different things and reasons to consider for why did I miss my goal. But I think the more important part is if you understand that part, can you learn from it? Can you find ways to progress, to make it better? Can you find something learning from your mistakes, sort of notion. So uh and I let me think of one real quick. I do remember there's one incident I had where I did fall a little bit short. And for me, I kind of have like I kind of have like an emergency mode in my brain. So I kind of treat it as like, oh no, what happened? Let me jump into this right away. But like, those are initial emotions that I'm thinking to myself as it's happening. But like once I sit down and I'm looking at it right in the screen, I kind of like have a mental like step back. It's like, okay, what am I looking at here? This looks right. This looks wrong. What do I do to make this better? And how do I make sure it doesn't happen again? So I think being able to s- kind of like, just pressing the brakes for a second and then just looking around, looking at your surroundings, see what's going on, and then being able to reapply yourself is kind of important when it comes to, overcoming any mistakes that you made or just missing your goals as a whole. You got to switch your perspective into I don't want to say like in a way that's like, oh, you gotta be positive all the time. It's like I will be realistic. There are times where like you're gonna be bummed out or like you're not gonna have like the most positive emotions out of it. You're gonna be you could be very negative in the moment, and I think part of that is just part of the process. And I feel that, in doing so, you gain value out of what you do in your day-to-day life. So I think having those negative feelings and emotions adds more value to what you do in your career and in life because it kind of adds a level of, I wouldn't say severity, but like, it gives you more purpose behind what you do.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that if we didn't have negative emotions, then maybe nothing would get done.
Okay.
I think that
Don't
it's
be too
not.
la-di-da-di-da,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think it's important to learn from your mistakes, and you probably wouldn't if you were like, "Oh, this won't happen next time," and you just don't really think about it at all. I think there's definitely points where you can think way too much about a mistake, and then it kind of overtakes you, and it's not really healthy, and you're not really learning from it at that point. But I definitely think, um, looking back and reevaluating is something that is incredibly important, especially for marketing. Because again, you can do I think the problem not really a problem, but just a fact about marketing is that you can sometimes do everything right, but it just doesn't yield the results that you want. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily did anything wrong, but you can also still always learn from that and what you can do differently next time, even if it's not um, even if it wasn't necessarily on you, like you didn't do your job well enough. It's just sometimes you can't predict the market. You can't predict
Right.
what's going on.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's so it's very unpredictable, what's gonna happen the next day. And, just going through the motions of it can be, it could be frustrating at times as well. Like you kind of sometimes like I've found myself in positions where it's like I wish I could, be a little bit more grounded in this situation. But right now I'm kind of going through the motions in this current state. And it's like, yeah, I know that, but it's like, it's just kind of part of the process. And sometimes you just have to kind of deal with it. I know that's like not the healthiest way of saying it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you can't just have to deal with it. It's temporary. Like it'll always subside. And for me, when it comes to that, it's like okay, well, I can overcome this. I know like I could do better, and whatever like hiccups or obstacles I got along the way, if I can overcome it, I'll just have a funny story to tell in the future. So that's kind of my perspective. So
I always think about it in the funny story vice. I have the funniest stories out of my friend group, and it's because I mess up all the time.
exactly. You live in yeah.
Yeah, then I get a good story out of it, and I'm entertaining at parties, and that's all you can really hope for yourself in life
Yeah.
is to be entertaining at parties.
What's the
Okay.
meaning of life? Be entertaining and
Entertaining at parties, yes, exactly. Because if you're the life of the party, then they're like, "Where's cool story guy?" Quick, of course, the guy that
I have a
fucks up
lot
all
of
the stories.
stories. I have way too many stories, but I'd rather not tell them in this podcast.
That's good. That's good. It's okay.
Yeah, cute. Let's keep it like that. So
We're not extremely PC here, but we have boundaries.
exactly. Like always having boundaries is always a healthy thing. You got no limits.
It's game time.
All right.
Okay.
What are we playing today?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you absurd questions, and you're just gonna have to deal with answering them. That's basically how the game works for me.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. All right.
First question: how many eggs do you think you can eat in a waking day?
Like first thing in the morning?
A waking day, like your whole day that you're awake.
Oh. Do I have to eat them like one at a time or like kind of scrambled?
You can do whatever you want with the eggs. You just have to consume eggs.
All right, let me see. Well, if I make scrambled eggs, and then well, fried chicken also has eggs in it too as an ingredient, so I guess
They
that
just
kind of
gotta be
counts.
in. They just gotta be in the food.
See, like I'm trying to think of like I was bulking last year, and I knew the process behind that, but like I never, you never think about it. You just want to hit the numbers and
eggs you eat.
how many eggs you can eat. That includes eggs being used as an ingredient. So I'm gonna say 25. Maybe? I'm
Okay,
gonna say 25. I'm gonna say
that's reasonable.
yeah.
I've asked this. This is my favorite question. I don't really know why. But I get some absurd answers like 9 dozen. I've gotten 9 dozen. That's insane. You would die probably. I don't think you'd survive that day. But maybe you'd be able to consume all of those possibly.
This reminds me of that one video my cousin showed me, and it was something about like there's radiation in like bananas, and like the videos say like you need to eat like a couple million bananas to get radiation poisoning. And me and my cousin, our initial thought was, yeah, sure. The reason you're dead is because of the radiation poisoning from the bananas, not the fact that you tried to eat a couple million bananas.
Yeah, no, I think you would kind of potassium overload. I don't know. There's not really. I don't think you're supposed to have too many of any vitamins. I think that's why
Exactly.
it's like
Yeah.
overload on cholesterol for the
Yeah.
eggs. I think your heart would just stop after 50 eggs. But
Yeah.
maybe.
We'll see. High cholesterol is not fun, kids. So I will say
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Don't be doing that.
Don't
Call
be
the
doing that.
hotline.
Call a
Yeah.
hotline, take blood test,
Yeah,
your fiber, go for a walk.
run maybe if
R-
that isn't horrible for you.
Go up a hill, maybe.
Yeah, a
Don't
couple.
make it a couple hills, maybe.
Maybe
a couple
some
hills.
stairs. That's where you draw the line. No
Yeah,
stairs.
no stairs.
I have this
Too many
workout.
mechanics.
I have this workout that I do almost like every like 2 days or something, and there's like these crazy steep steps in my neighborhood, and I call it the Rocky workout, and I just run up and down them for an hour.
For some reason, I'm thinking of a Rocky Run that just happened a couple days ago or something. It's
Is
like,
that the one in
um,
Philly? Do they do this?
yeah, they do a Rocky Run. I don't know about the steps part. I just know that they run. It's like a full marathon.
There's a lot of running related events in Philadelphia that I do not know about. The naked bike race, crazy. Never seen
Well,
it, but I know it happens every year. Don't want to see it.
it's a naked.
Exactly what it sounds like. People naked on bikes, biking.
I'll have to text my friend about that, see if the
It's
rumors are true.
real. It's a real
Yeah.
thing. They do it a lot. I don't know if I feel like they still do it. They got to still do it. It's like a thing. It's crazy though. It's not illegal. That's what I don't understand. But whatever. Okay.
As long as it's not in the
Philadelphia
wintertime, I guess it's okay, but I don't know. So.
Philadelphia is its own breed of place. Okay.
Oh, that I know for a fact.
Back. Okay, I have one more question for you because we're definitely over time, but it's fine.
Oh,
Okay. Would you rather get $1 every time you compliment a stranger or $100 for every time you insulted a stranger?
it has to be a stranger, right?
Has to be a stranger.
Why is this a hard question?
Maybe because you're morally corrupt. And I'm going to also put that in the tagline of this video.
It's like, do I roast somebody for $100? That sounds too easy, but like, it's $100. And I know I could definitely use the money. And but like $1 for a compliment is always a good thing, but that's a lot of people I gotta go through. And I can only run through so many strangers before I run out of people too. So it's like, what do I do? I don't know. I'm gonna follow my gut and my moral compass. I'm gonna just say $1 for a compliment.
You just compliment people like a lot.
Yeah, I'll but I think so. Here's my method. So what I'm going to do is like I'm going to find one stranger and just comment one smallest piece as possible. It's like, hey, I like your left sock, and then the next time I run to them, I like your right sock, and then I could kind of like just it will add up. So I could probably get like maybe like $5-10 from one person, and then kind of move on, and then go to the next person. And then like I could get the dogs involved too. It's like, oh, nice dog, nice tail. I don't know.
I don't know if it counts as a stranger if you complimented them 10 times, honestly.
Well, no, that's where you
Do
gotta
you
have
know
like a
them by
little
then?
exactly, but you gotta have like a little rotation by then. So it's like
Uh,
so I mean, also it makes it more valid if like there's like a kid. Like if somebody's strolling around their baby, the baby's not gonna remember me. So I'll just go I'll just go for it. It's like, oh, nice stroller, kid.
I love that you've created a scenario for this, not just answering the question. You're really thinking about it. Like,
I'm telling you, there's a method behind my madness. I'm thinking about every single possible angle I can think of, and this is the angle I'm picking right now.
no, this is beautiful. I think that successful in this would you rather
Oh,
scenario. Okay, well, this is unfortunately all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for coming on with me today. This was super fun. I appreciate it. I don't have a lot of people my age on this podcast, so kudos to you because
am I
that
the youngest
that
one
sounds
here,
awesome.
or
Maybe you might
maybe?
be. You might be the
Oh,
youngest person that's ever been on the podcast,
oh.
which is cool. That means you're successful and intelligent for your age. I would, yeah, that seems right.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's okay.
Most marketing coordinators are not this age, I guess. So that's cool. Good for you.
Am I like? What am I like?
You're an old head.
I don't know if that's the word I was looking
Use
for,
yourself.
but look, just because I turned 25 doesn't mean I'm old yet.
You're old. Does your back hurt?
Not today, but
Not today.
not
Just answer
today.
my question. Okay.
Yeah, not today. My kneecaps were squeaking a little bit when I woke up.
Squeak.
Like
No.
like when metal parts make sounds, it's like you definitely need like a little bit WD-40 on it, you know. So that's what my kneecaps sound like sometimes. So
All right, everyone listening to the podcast or watching, don't forget to lube your knees, call the hotline, and don't gamble. 1-800-GAMBLER. Call that also. Thank you, everyone, for listening or watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to have fun on the podcast like we did today. Or not on the podcast. You would have to watch it, but it's fun and you should watch it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
take care, guys. See ya.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.